It is dawn, and a new day begins. Across the land, a wake-up call is heard, and in the towns and cities of America, entrepreneurs rise to the call. Time for new developments, new visions, new growth. It is time to move America forward.
Welcome to our series, Moving America Forward. Each week we'll be focusing on America's entrepreneurs as they take us to new roads, new opportunities, new ways to fill the gaps left by today's failing companies. Our series will be looking at that and a lot more. So come with me and watch as the entrepreneurs of our nation move into the future. I'm William Shatner, and you're watching Moving America Forward.
And I'm Doug Llewellyn here in our studios in Los Angeles with our guest, an extraordinary company from Arlington, Virginia. The company is called Huthwaite. And with me here at our desk is John Golden. He's the president of the company. John, Huthwaite does not give you a clue of what this company is all about, does it?
No, it doesn't.
Just from the name itself. You know, interestingly, you had a chance to talk with William Shatner a little while ago. Let's take a look at how that went, and then we'll come back and find out more about Huthwaite. Roll the tape.
I understand you've been helping companies to advance their business through consulting services. Tell me how you do this, and do you feel it's moving America forward?
Well, Mr. Shatner, if America is to move forward in the coming years, businesses must grow, jobs must increase, there must be better profit for employers, and obviously greater income for employees. And it all depends on one word: sales. That, William, is why we dedicate ourselves to teaching salespeople and sales forces the behaviors that are scientifically correlated with sales excellence. That's our mission, and that's how we help move America forward.
That's very interesting. It's all about sales, isn't it? Success comes down to sales. And that's how you help companies, and you help people. Talk to me about what you do. What really does Huthwaite do?
Well, if you think about it, Doug, right, about 50% of graduates that come out of college, their first job is sales. But yet, out of all the colleges in the country, 5,000 or so, there's about 50 of them have sales programs. So you have all these people who come into the sales force, and their first job they're completely unprepared for. They have no grounding in whatsoever. So you have a lot of people who are working as salespeople who've never had any formal background in it. Then a lot of organizations don't train them. A lot of organizations don't have well-defined sales processes, or a lot of organizations value activity over analysis. So it's like make lots of calls, get lots of appointments, instead of are we making the right calls, are we saying the right things? Or they just go out there and feature dump their products instead of really understanding what your business drivers are. So we go to organizations large and small, and we help them address all of these different issues.
So you train sales staffs.
Absolutely.
And do you do this on an individual basis, or you do it in a classroom situation where there may be 20 or 30 salespeople involved?
Yeah, we do it in a classroom situation. We do it about 15 people because we want a lot of interactivity, and we want to make sure that our facilitators, our expert facilitators, get a chance to work one-on-one, and there's lots of hands-on application while they're doing it. So what we do is we go out, first of all, before we even put the program together, we do diagnosis, because we believe at the company, because we believe, just like in medicine, that prescription without diagnosis is malpractice, right? So before we ever prescribe something, we go out and we do a diagnostic. We have online tools where we can diagnose the issues with your sales force. Then we may actually go out into the field and observe some of your salespeople, talk to your sales managers, talk to your executives, really understand what the issues are, and then customize a program specifically for your organization.
Because some guy who's selling computers, what his sales technique might be totally different from someone who's selling automobiles, for example. right? So you hone in on that.
Absolutely. It's critical that everything we do is really real world based, so it's completely customized to your business, because you're right. Somebody selling computers is selling to a different profile of customer than somebody selling cars.
But when it comes right down to it, being a salesman takes certain, maybe I'm wrong, but it takes kind of a good type of personality, and there's certain techniques that all salespeople have to use. Tell me what you look for in people and how you bring that out.
Well, let me take the premise for a moment. You know, people will often say, you know, great salespeople are born, not made. But in actual fact, we find that you can make great salespeople, and often the traits that people associate with great salespeople are not the correct ones.
What are the key traits?
Well, a lot of people will say the gregarious person, the person who talks a lot, you know, the person who can build that rapport, that relationship, is really what a salesperson should be. But in fact, our research and all the work we've done over the years shows that it's the salesperson who asks intelligent questions, who listens to the answers and really uncovers and builds the need within the customer, and then is patient, so doesn't jump in the first time they hear a need, says, well, I've got a solution for you, but they really build the rapport, understand the business drivers, understand whether the issue you're discussing is something that you even want to take action on. So it's almost a little bit opposite to the common perception. It's the salesperson who asks good questions, who can really uncover and develop needs, and is patient and not going in too quickly with the solution.
So do you find that most salespeople have faults when it comes to listening?
Absolutely. Is
that the big problem?
It is one of the biggest problems, because you know they're so eager to tell you about how great their product is, and how great their service is, and they're so eager to almost sell themselves, if you like. But at the end of the day, you know, we've proven in our research that you value something far more, a conclusion that you come up with, rather than me as a salesperson tells you. So if I can ask you questions and actually take you on a journey, and you come to the conclusion that you need to take action, it's far more likely that you're going to take action because you came to that conclusion, as opposed to me telling you. So that's why it is really critical for salespeople to ask questions, listen more, talk less.
There's so many other things too that get involved. You talk about the negotiation. You teach the art of negotiation?
Yeah, absolutely. We teach the art of negotiation, and in fact, we would argue that if you execute a sales process properly, according to the way we would, the negotiations you do at the end are far less than if you don't go through the process properly, because at the end then you start to have to make concessions and get into a back and forth. But there are real skills around negotiation, and it's not just the I win, you lose. It's the, you know, we both understand that we want to get something out of this, and we come to that situation where we both feel we're getting the value we're looking for.
Prospecting for clients. Another big area.
Absolutely, and an area that, quite frankly, during the boom years, you know, if you put the clock back 3 years ago, nobody was prospecting anymore. Marketing campaigns brought in tons of leads. You know, budgets were plenty. People had money to spend, so it was really just going out there and competing when it came to the point of presenting your product. Now all of that's gone away and people have to prospect again. So if you think about it, I mean, your inbox on a daily basis, your voicemail is full of people calling up saying, hi, I'm John from Huthwaite and I can help you with your sales. Click, you delete, right? What we teach people is how to actually understand what's going on, do your research, understand what's going on in the business of the prospect and the vertical the prospect's in, and then open up with some message that's relevant to that person.
Something that'll catch them off guard and say, you know,
yeah, exactly.
I got to talk to this guy.
Yeah. My name and my company name is not going to do that.
There's also a synergy that you say you have to develop between the marketing people and the sales people, because sometimes they don't communicate with each other. But when they do, magic can happen. Is that right?
Absolutely. We have some marquee customers of ours who really cracked the code on that, where they took the marketing people and they actually taught them sales skills. Because marketing people don't see themselves as salespeople, and quite often they like to distinguish themselves. Salespeople don't see themselves as marketers. So you have a division there. But when you teach marketing people to speak the same language as salespeople and to be able to present their products in marketing materials and collateral in the same way that salespeople present the solutions, when they're talking with customers. When you get that synergy going, you really move your company forward. And we have examples of some of our top customers who've achieved this, and the outcome has been quite dramatic.
Are there many companies that do this? I mean, this is one of the first I've ever heard of. What's your answer on that?
Yeah, unfortunately, there's not as many companies do it as you would think. They should be doing it. Yeah, I think sales and marketing alignment is one of those last big frontiers that needs to be overcome.
It's something, we talked before about whether you work with groups or individuals, and you do. Do you find that working with an individual prepares them better than working with a group, or do they get something out of a group that they wouldn't get by themselves?
Well, I think they get something out of a group that they wouldn't get by themselves, because number one, they get to practice their skills with other like people who are in the same situation. So
right.
So when you're in a group, you not only get to practice your skills, but you get to observe somebody else practicing theirs. So you start to see what works and what doesn't work. So when you get that whole group dynamic going, plus your sales manager is going to be there every step of the way, and we also train the managers to be able to coach and reinforce you afterwards in the field. So in very few situations is a salesperson truly selling on their own. They've got a sales manager helping
right.
them. They're calling up their buddy to get advice. So if you do it in a group dynamic where they get to practice, they get to watch other people, and more importantly, they also get to play the part of the buyer.
Yeah.
So they get to understand things from a buyer
perspective. So there are advantages with being with a group. I can see
absolutely.
that. You also were talking to me about product launches, how you help in that area, the guidance.
Yeah. And again, product launches is another area where it's often done by the product development group or a product marketing group. It's done without a lot of consultation with the sales department, and it's often where the product people are really proud of what they've done, so they start to overload people with the features and features of the product, and the salespeople go away with this huge list of products or features rather, and instead of really understanding the business drivers that these features might map to. So again, when you get the product people to understand it from a buyer perspective and say, okay, what business issues are these features actually solving?
Yeah.
And when you start to do your product launch based around business drivers, it's a whole different dynamic.
One other quick question. We're almost out of time. You're headquartered in the Washington, D.C. area in Arlington, Virginia. But do you work with companies all over the country?
Yeah, we work with companies all over the country, large and small. We actually work globally with organizations. We work with a lot of big US companies who have a presence throughout the globe and want to have a common sales language and a common sales process. But we work from anywhere from Fortune 50 companies right down to small regional players, even to mom and pop shops who really want to achieve excellence.
Well, it sounds like you know what you're doing, and obviously it's a service that is sorely needed. I can see where you can be great benefit to companies. Thank you so much, John. Very interesting.
Well, thank you for having me, Doug.
I'm William Shatner, and you're watching Moving America Forward.
This organization represents companies across our great nation that embody the spirit, dedication, know-how, and can-do attitude which has made America the great nation it is today. And now let's present the Keeping America Strong Award.
Now it's my honor to present this prestigious Moving America Forward Award to John Golden, the President and CEO of Huthwaite of Arlington, Virginia, for the outstanding work that his company is doing to help keep America moving forward. John, it's a real pleasure to give this to you. Congratulations.
Well, thank you very much, and obviously I'd like to thank Moving America Forward for giving us this opportunity, thank all of our staff and associates who make this possible, and most of all I'd like to thank our wonderful customers who invite us into their organizations to help them achieve excellence.
That's it for another edition of Moving America Forward. I'm Bert Tenzer. Join us again as we continue to bring you the entrepreneurs who move America forward.
I'm William Shatner, and for all of us at Moving America Forward, thanks for watching.